Hi, my name is Evelyn. I'm from Georgetown Polytechnic, and my work focuses on supporting faculty in online and technology-enabled teaching. This session focuses on how we create conditions for learning through clarity, trust, and intentional design when AI is already part of our teaching reality. I want to start with something I have been noticing in conversation with faculty. That's kind of tension. On one hand, people are excited about AI can do, the possibility, the effects, efficiency, the support it can provide. But at the same time, there's also concern. Concern about learning, academic integrity, and what students are actually taking away. And what interesting is that these two things are happening at the same time. That's the tension. So before we continue for this presentation, I want to acknowledge the Mississauga of the Credit First Nation and the Dish with One Spoon, One Bun Treaty Territory connected to the University of Guelph. This presentation gives me an opportunity to learn about the treaty territory connected to this area at Guelph, and I want to recognize that respectfully. If we look at the border data, we start to see pattern, and you may see this graph in earlier presentation. But let's look at the graph here. In Canada, concern actually outweighs excitement, and that imbalance is very important because that tension we're seeing in our classroom. And we see that same tension with students. So this is a recent data shows that AI use is highly among students, and students are already using AI, as all we are using AI too. But many are not confident in how to use it. Some feel they are learning not as much as they can. Some asking for more clear guidance, and many students are also worried about doing the wrong thing or be accused of using AI inappropriately. And part of the challenge is we don't always know how they're using it. Without that understanding, it is difficult to design meaningful expectations. So the real challenge is here. So the issue is not whether AI is being used. It is already is. What we're seeing is not primarily misuse. It's inconsistency. Students are navigating expectations that are unclear, different across courses, or never explicitly stated. So the real challenge is not access, tools, or detection. It is unclear expectation. So what does this look like when we are trying to address this? We piloted in a simple approach across live courses. About 200 students participated in it. The goal wasn't to control AI use. It was to reduce confusion and make expectation clear. And what we saw wasn't perfect, but it helps create a shared understanding of how AI could be used. A month ago, I attended a conference at U of Waterloo. It focuses on AI in higher education. One of the activities asked participants a simple question. How comfortable are you using AI to support teaching and learning? What stood out that to me wasn't just the range of respondents. It was the fact that the conversation itself has shifted. We're moving away from how do we stop students from using AI and towards questions like how do we design learning environment where AI can be used responsibly, transparently, and meaningfully. Because the challenge now is not simply controlling AI use. is designing for trust, clarity, and learning with this new environment. How do we design? For trust first. When there's trust, students are more transparent, and instructor can better understand how AI is being used. And that understanding is what allows us to design better expectation over time. Most of us are already passing banning or fully allowing AI. The challenge now is not the permission, it's consistency. The appropriateness of AI depends on the learning context and the purpose of the activity. It is about recognizing when AI starts doing the part students need to be learned, when it replaces thinking, when it bypasses key learning processes, when it removes decision making. If AI is doing the thinking, students aren't. So most of the issues don't happen in what's clearly allowed or clearly not allowed. So in the middle of the slide, you can see that happened in the gap. What expectations are unclear? What students are guessing? What is acceptable? And what counts their work? And what they should not do? And what they should disclose. And when expectations are unclear, it creates tension on both sides. Students worry about doing the wrong thing. Both faculty and students are navigating uncertainty. So the score is not control, it's build trust through clarity. So how do we reduce that gap? Through clarity and transparency. At the higher level, can be shared guidance, and at the course level, it is about making expectation visible. So this slide is showing the higher level guidance, and the next slide I'm going to show you, and can be really simple. A clear AI guidance. AI can support planning and outlining. Final work should reflect your own thinking. Students should acknowledge how AI was used. That's it. This isn't about adding policy. It's about making expectation more clear. And what you see in this slide is an example only. And this is a generic AI guidance. We were encouraging faculty to create their own guidance for their own course. So how this can extend that into assignment? For example, we can add in short reflection, requesting students to do short reflection, transparent statement, or other support. So we are not redesigning everything in the course. We're just helping students to make their thinking more visible. So at this point, that may be feeling a lot. You have to do a lot of things, but actually it's not. You can start small. But you don't need to redesign your whole entire course. This is when trust begins, with one clear expectation. You can clearly one learning score, make one small change in your course, and then ask the student to reflect, and then we can adjust. Because even small shifts can change how students engage in the course. So this is a low overload strategy. So what does it look like in practice? So what we have done, we inserted like a short transparent statement, brief reflection, and optional support. And we have clear boundaries. There are not major changes, but they make expectation visible. And when expectations are visible, students don't have to guess. That's how we build trust. And importantly, faculty don't have to build all of this on their own. Many institutions are already building to develop. So AI guidance, reflection frameworks, example languages, and assessment support. So before I come to UF Grove for the presentation, I did a quick research that you can see on the slide. So actually in UF Grove, you already have like provincial recommendation and resources that instructor can adapt and build in their courses. So this work does not need to start from zero. You can take example on this page and put it in your course. So, and this is how we can connect this to institutional policy. I did a research to different colleges and university. Most of them, they don't have a full institutional policy for every courses. You only have the high level one. So most likely it's allow student to use AI, not allow, or they allow some, but they have to ask their instructor for more permission or how to use it, or to ask the instructor for more details. So this is where also institutional policy and course level design start to connect. So institutional policy can define the broader boundary, the higher level. But the students still need a course level clarity. Responsible AI use cannot rely on student alone. Its allow depends on course design, institutional guidance, and shared understanding. So guidance helps explain what those expectations actually look like, how they apply in a specific course, and what responsible use means in practice. So actually, policy applies, but guidance explain. They work together like pairs. So today, the key takeaway is 3 key ideas here. First, students want clear guidance. Second, design matters more than detection. And third, small changes are enough. So let me closing for today. Students are already using AI. The question is whether we understand how they are using it, and whether they have created conditions where they can use it responsibly. AI is not a detection problem, it's a design problem and trust problem. If you're interested, I have shared a page of AI guidance example you can adapt for your course. You can access it using the QR code, or you can click on the link in the description. Thank you.